In this video, we are going to talk about some of these tools that you can see right here in the toolbar. If you take a look at the toolbar, you will see that we have a few tools like the Move tool, we have the Frame tool, the Shape tool, etc. Some of these tools have this little drop-down icon, which means that if you just click on it, a drop-down menu opens just like this, and you will find more options underneath. The first option is the Move tool. As you can guess from its name, it allows you to move things around. It's as simple as that. Here you can find the shortcut of these tools as well. It's quite helpful if you can remember these shortcuts. It's going to save you so much time. The next tool is the Scale tool, which allows you to scale things up or down. I'll show you how these tools work in a minute, but for now, I'm just going to introduce them to you one by one. Next, we have the Frame tool, which is one of the most important tools in Figma. If you're familiar with other design software like Sketch, when you want to design something, you need to create something called an artboard. A frame in Figma is actually an artboard. It's basically a container in which you can place all your design elements, such as text, shapes, images, etc. The shortcut for the Frame tool is F or A on your keyboard, and as soon as you select it, on the right side, you will find these pre-built frames with pre-specified dimensions. These are some of the common frame sizes that we use for our projects. We have phone, we have different frames like iPhone 14, 14 Pro. You can find their dimensions as well. We have tablet, desktop, etc. So imagine you want to design a mobile application, an iOS application. You can simply head over to the phone category and just pick iPhone 14, and there it is. Here is your frame. But you may ask, what if I need something custom? Well, you don't need to worry about anything because once you select the Frame tool, you can also left click and drag to draw a custom size frame. Just like this, you can specify the dimension by yourself. Keep in mind that whenever you want to design anything, you need to start by adding a frame to your canvas. Okay? We do not start designing right here in the canvas. Of course, we can place elements around like images, buttons, text right here in the canvas. But when you're designing an app or a web page, you need to work with a frame for a variety of reasons that we will talk about later. All right, now I'm going to select this frame right here. To select elements right in the canvas, you can just simply click on its name and I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to hit delete or backspace on my keyboard. So here is our iPhone frame. And if I open up this drop-down menu once again, you will see that we have two other options. We have the section and the slice. What are these? This section option allows you to create a specific section. So it's basically a tool allowing you to organize your frames in one place. Imagine you designed a login flow like sign in, sign up, forgot password, etc. And you want to organize all those screens in one place in your canvas. This section tool allows you to do that. So here you can simply draw a section just like drawing a frame, just like this. And as you can see, this frame will be placed inside your section. And then if you want to move all your login flow frames, you can simply select this section and move them around. All right, let me remove that. The next tool is the Slice tool. This Slice tool allows you to specify an area that you want to export. All right, most of the time we don't use it, but know that it exists and I'll show you how it works later. Next, we have the Shape tools. Here, as you can see, we have many primitive shapes like rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and we also have this place image video option. Believe it or not, when it comes to UI design, these simple shapes are all we need. You may say, really? We just need rectangles, lines, arrows, etc. Yes, that's true. We can create almost anything using these simple shapes. And during the course, you'll learn how. All right, so now let's try out these shape tools one by one. I'm going to select it, left click and drag to draw a simple rectangle, just like this. Each object in Figma has its own properties. Some objects have similar properties to adjust. Some objects have some unique properties to adjust. However, almost all objects have some common properties like the coordinates X and Y, the dimensions, width and height, the rotation property, the corner radius, etc. Apart from the position and dimensions, you also have this corner radius value, which allows you to make these sharp corners rounded. All right, right now we have these sharp corners. If you want to make them rounded, you can just increase this value right here. We also have this option, independent corners. If you just click on it, you'll get access to independent corner values. So imagine you want to keep one corner sharp and the other corners rounded. In this case, you can simply select this one, for example, top left corner, and just set its value to 0. Just like this, you will get this sharp corner right here. To undo an operation, you can hit Ctrl Z or Command Z depending on your OS. Here we also have this option which is called corner smoothing. It allows you to make these corners even smoother, so you can just increase it just like this. I'll talk about this particular option later, but for now, just know that this option also exists. Keep in mind that you can adjust the dimensions of your shape right here in the design panel, just like this, either independently or linked, like that. Or you can just modify the dimensions right here in the canvas. Okay, so that's the first shape tool. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the line shape tool. I'm going to select it. It allows us to create simple lines just like this. You may say that, all right, is it that helpful? Yes, it is. We use it for creating dividers, for instance, and many other things. So a line is basically a stroke. You may say, what's a stroke? We'll talk about it later, but it's basically some thickness around borders. If you select your line and you head over to the design panel, you will see that here under the stroke section, we have these available properties such as color. You can modify the color here. We have the thickness, so you can modify the thickness here. We have these other options that we will talk about in the stroke section. But for now, just know that you can create a line using the line tool. I'm going to put it right there. The next shape tool is arrow. Arrow is basically a line. If I just create an arrow just like that, and I change its color, as you can see, it's a stroke with one difference. The line doesn't have anything at the starting point and the ending point. As you can see here, it's set to none, but the ending point of the arrow is different right here. As you can see, we have different options that we will talk about later. The next tool is ellipse. It allows us to create a circle, for instance, or ellipses, just like this. If you want to create a perfect circle, you can hold down the Shift key on your keyboard while you're drawing this ellipse. It keeps the height and width the same, so you'll get a perfect circle. But this particular shape has some additional properties. Apart from the X, Y, width, and height, the ellipse tool has another property called arc. If I just zoom in here, by the way, if you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can hold Control or Command key on your keyboard and then just use the scroll bar on your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. Here, if I hover over this circle, as you can see, a tooltip appears and it's called arc. I can left click and drag and look what happens. You see, I can create such a shape by modifying the arc property. As soon as I modify that, a few other properties appear, like the sweep, which allows us to modify the angle like this. We also have the ratio, which allows us to adjust the thickness. And then we have the start property, which allows us to set the starting point of this particular shape. So if I place it right here, imagine we want to create a chart. So we can set the starting point right here. And if you want to set the value to 50%, you can set the sweep amount to 50 and you'll create a precise chart just like this. If you want to set the value to 25, you can modify it right here, or you can specify the values in the design panel. You can also adjust the corner radius value right here for your ellipse, just like this, to make these corners rounded. All right, the next shape tool is polygon, which allows you to create polygons. So the simplest form is the triangle right here. It also has some specific properties. Here we have the radius. It allows you to modify the corner radius, nothing new. But this one is count. It allows you to increase or decrease the number of edges that this polygon has. So the minimum is 3. You cannot decrease it to 2. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a polygon. But you can increase it to 4, 5, 6, etc. Just like this. It's good when you want to create like a badge icon. It would be useful sometimes. And last but not least, we have the star shape tool right here, which allows you to create a star. Again, if you want to create a perfect star, you can hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and you can draw it proportionately. So the star tool also has some unique properties. Here we have the radius, nothing new, but we also have the ratio, which allows you to control the angle between these two edges, like this. And we also have the count, so you can increase it or decrease it according to your needs, just like this.